O'Brien went on to smash the quickest century in World Cup history off just 50 balls. And although he eventually was run out thanks to some quick work by Matt Pryor, he'd made 113 from just 63 deliveries. John Mooney stayed strong though with an unbeaten 33 to give Ireland an astonishing 3-wicket victory and complete one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. Guy McCree, Al Jazeera.
I think anyone is going to struggle to beat that innings, to be honest. And I mean, I'll take a few fines for that, for a few raps. But I mean, I'll say that all night. You know, I mean, 100 off 50 balls in a World Cup in front of 1 billion people under lights against England. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
You know, hopefully it'll sort of galvanise us as a team. You know, the equation's pretty simple now, as you say. We can't afford any slip-ups, and we're going to have to go out there and deliver.
England's next opponents are South Africa, who will hope to avoid a similar upset against the Netherlands when the sides meet in Chandigarh. South Africa started their campaign with victory against the West Indies, while the Netherlands have lost both their matches so far.
We have breaking news on the crisis in Libya. There's been a major development coming out of Venezuela. For the details on that, let's cross to our correspondent, Dima Khatib, in the capital, Caracas. Dima, what do you have? Okay, apologies. We have a problem crossing to Dima Khatib in Venezuela. Let's continue with our newscast right now. It's less than 6 months to the Rugby World Cup in New Zealand, but questions are now being raised over Christchurch's ability to host the game after last week's devastating earthquake. Andrew Thomas finds out whether the players themselves are prepared for the competition.
Training, but with a difference. For the Crusaders, New Zealand's most successful ever Super Rugby team, these are unusual times. This a borrowed pitch, 30 kilometres from their normal home. That is in Christchurch. The team was showering after training here as the ground shook. They scattered, rushing home to check on family and friends. A member of the team's board died when this office block collapsed. Players and coaches were unharmed, but not their facilities. Potentially unsafe, the Crusaders' home stadium. It has yet to be checked for structural damage. Out of respect, last Saturday's away game was abandoned, but this Friday's home fixture can't be missed. Their opponents, Australia's Waratahs, the team currently topping the league. That match will go ahead, but in Nelson, 400 kilometres from Christchurch. It'll be an emotionally charged night.
You know, emotion is both a good thing and bad thing. You know, we've got to be really clear that we firmly get our minds back on rugby and try to, you know, put that emotion to the side and really refocus on making sure that rugby is our priority.
Christchurch's earthquake has big implications too for this September's Rugby World Cup. Key matches for that are due to be played at the Crusaders Stadium too, which, even as we filmed it, was hit by another aftershock. The stadium is quite modern. Engineers expect to find it structurally sound. But there are wider questions. Can a city devastated by an earthquake possibly host a major sports event just 6 months later?
Well, I mean, we've been looking forward to it and we've been gearing up for it, and there's been a lot of investment in the stadium and in the city. We would still very much like to be a very big part of the Rugby World Cup.
But hotels have been destroyed, likewise restaurants and bars. The city centre will be off limits for months. There is, though, hope. Cruise liners, for example, could be brought into nearby Littleton Harbour to accommodate fans. Commercially and psychologically, being in a fit enough state to host the World Cup by September would be a huge boost for Christchurch. But for an event of that size, 6 months isn't long, and the clock's already ticking. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Christchurch.
Scantily clad divas, burly police officers and the newly elected President Dilma Rousseff may be among the sights roaming the streets of Rio de Janeiro this carnival season. Masks featuring Rousseff along with Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi will join other politicians and Rio's classic favourites as the city prepares for this weekend's festivities. Rio's carnival officially opens on Friday when the mayor hands over the key to the city to the carnival and the Carnival King. British fashion designer John Galliano will stand trial in Paris over racist insults he made. It's already cost him his job at Christian Dior and prompted him to issue an apology on Wednesday. Catherine Stansel has more.
British clothing designer John Galliano has always brought drama and controversy to the catwalk, but now he's involved in a real-life legal drama. He's going on trial for allegedly making anti-Semitic remarks to a couple in a Paris cafe last Thursday. A conviction could see him jailed for 6 months. Christian Dior suspended Galliano as creative director following last week's incident. However, the fashion house sacked him on Tuesday when mobile phone footage dating from December emerged, featuring Galliano praising Hitler.
No, but I love Hitler. People like you would be dead today. Your mothers, your forefathers would be gassed.
Oh my God.
Galliano apologized for the taped outburst. In a statement released through his lawyers, he said, "I only have myself to blame, and I know that I must face up to my own failures. In all my work, my inspiration has been to unite people of every race, creed, religion, and sexuality by celebrating their cultural and ethnic diversity through fashion. That remains my guiding light." However, he went on to say that he was subjected to verbal harassment and assault during last week's incident, and he's planning a defamation suit against the couple accusing him of anti-Semitism.
These accusations, there are a lot of them. Mr. Galliano is a designer, an artist who is known around the world, so it's extremely easy to tarnish someone's reputation.
Galliano's departure from Dior marks the end of one of the longest and most successful partnerships in the world of fashion. However, industry watchers say that the famed fashion house will move forward. Just hours after announcing Galliano's dismissal, several high-profile designers were said to be in the running to replace him.
As far as I can see, they intend to pick up the reins and carry on. It's business as usual, and the show must go on.
But the future of Galliano's own line is now at stake. He was set to reveal his latest collection at Paris Fashion Week on Sunday. But given the firestorms surrounding the designer and rumors that he's now in a rehabilitation program, it remains unclear when his creations will hit the runway again. Catherine Stansel, Al Jazeera.
Thanks for joining us here on Al Jazeera. I'll be back with updates on all of our top stories in just a moment. Steph will be here with world weather next, but before we go, a reminder that you can keep up to date with all the stories on our website, and you'll find that at aljazeera.net/English.
As the fog hangs warily over London, we can always offer you the perfect pick-me-up.
Hello again. For the States, it's been the western parts where we've seen the wettest of the weather recently. On the satellite picture, you can see the cloud here all piling its way in from the Pacific. California there has certainly seen an awful lot of heavy rain. Now, there will be more wet weather for us as we head through the next couple of days, and it's going to stay quite cool as well. Looks like LA there will be at best getting to 16 degrees, and that's 61 in Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, further east, the temperatures here are cooling off as well. A top temperature of 0 there in New York.